Alright guys, now look. After finding out Wolverine was the one who unalived his parents, Spider-Man has been on a rampage, and he has been taking the fight straight to Logan. And listen, these two are not holding back. We're talking Spider-Man going full power, no pulling punches, and Wolverine, he's ready to meet him head on. But just when you think it couldn't get any more chaotic, they're being hunted. And now, our favorite black suit Spider-Man just stepped into the fight. Welcome back to Keepin' It Comic, and today, we're diving into Spider-Man and Wolverine, issues 2 and 3. Now let me give you a small recap cause it's been a little bit. In issue number 1, Wolverine pulled Peter into a covert mission to recover the Janus Directory, a deadly shield database that could expose every double agent who has ever lived. But before they could secure it, they were ambushed by Omega Red and Kraven. Oh, and Mysterio. And then they were hit with a hallucinogen that had them reliving their deepest traumas. Peter saw the impossible, a recording that showed Logan was on the plane the day his parents died. And just as the truth hit him like a gut punch, he turned and launched himself right at Logan. Now look, Peter's not playing. He's like, "You killed my parents!" And I mean, he's throwing punches. Logan's trying to stop him, but he's like, "Shut up!" And I mean, Peter's throwing so many punches and kicks while moving forward, I thought this man was doing a raging demon. And they're showing us some flashbacks of when Logan was killing his parents, but I don't think any of us care about that right now, because Peter is giving it to Logan, and Logan's getting fed up. He's like, "Kid, I don't want to hurt you." And Spidey says, "Like you did my parents? You..." And he says, "Shut up and listen. I don't know what you saw back there, but think. After what just happened to us, all those mind games they shoved us headfirst into, you can't trust anything." And Peter hits him with the drop kick and was like, "Shut up. What I saw wasn't an illusion. It was a recording from their plane, stored in a Janus Directory. Mysterio was out cold the whole time." And he sends Wolverine flying through a wall, grabs him with his web, and is like, "Get over here!" And then punches him through another wall. And we see Spider-Man in this hunched over savage form. And he says, "The database lists every undercover operative except you. And we both know your hailing factor would help you survive the plane crash easy." Wolverine, you can see it in his face, is taking damage. And he's like, "My memories from that time in my life, they aren't reliable, Pete. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I was a bad guy back then. I did a lot of things I'm not proud of." Peter's not trying to hear none of this. Wolverine's like, "But here's the thing. You and me both know this." And Spider-Man interrupts him. He's like, "What I saw was real. I know it." And he socks him right in the face and sends him flying. Then something explodes. Wolverine's had it. And so is his jaw. Because this man is disfigured now. And if you don't think this next panel of Wolverine charging at Spider-Man doesn't look like a scene from Marvel vs. Capcom, man, I don't know what y'all are looking at, but this is classic. But Wolverine's done with this one-sided fight because he slices the back of Spider-Man's mask. And then Spider-Man drops part of the building on him. But that's not enough because Wolverine grabs him and then slams him to the floor and then throws him. And then even tries to hit him with his own version of the Psycho Crusher. I mean, I'm sorry if I seem too hyped during this fight, but these guys are going all out. So Wolverine snaps his jaw back in place finally, because it's just been dangling this whole time. And he's like, "Stop, just stop, and listen to me for one flaming second. This whole situation reeks. You have to see it. It wasn't a coincidence you found that video. Someone wanted you to find it. Think about it. This was crafted by someone who wants you and me to come to blows. Kraven said there's a group involved here. Remember? Don't play into their hands." Spider-Man says, "Then tell me you didn't do it. Tell me I got it wrong. Tell me the video was doctored. Tell me anything." Wolverine says, "I'll tell you. What I told you already. I can't. My memories from back then, I can't trust them. Trying to recall them is like looking through broken glass. I remember a plane, I remember a husband and a wife, and I remember it crashing. And Spider-Man says, "Oh my God, you did it. You really did it." Ah! And this man shoots so many webs, the artist just decided to do shadow lines. And while Wolverine is in these webs, Spider-Man's going to town with the left and right hooks. But Wolverine's like, nah, I'm not going down that easy. And he breaks out, and they rush right at each other. And just as they make contact, Wolverine stabs Spider-Man right in the abdomen. Now, this knocked our boy out, obviously, because as he wakes up, our boy got some new drip on. He says, "Whoa, getting stabbed in the gut by Wolverine hurts, about as much as you'd expect, but someone treated the wound, evidently. I can feel a bandage beneath this fancy new yet retro costume, but who and why? And for the matter, where am I? Oh, I see, and it's a friggin' T-Rex, the Savage Land." And he says, "What in the name of Aunt May's dentures am I doing in the Savage Land?" Like, yo, why you gotta put Aunt May out there like that with the dentures? That's wrong, Peter. But he's like, geez, it feels like all my insides want to do is get outside. Well, this should be fun, taking on a T-Rex while I'm on the injury list. And thankfully for him, Wolverine pulls up on his new ride, saying sorry, but Spider is off the menu today, bub. Now let me just describe how brutal Wolverine is. This man leaped off of a dinosaur, off of a cliff, through a T-Rex's eyes, and then decided to pop up out of its mouth. That is crazy. And has the nerve to just be like, hey. Even Peter's like, hey, he says, as if he didn't kill my parents and try to kill me. Spidey's like, get away from me, you lunatic. You almost killed me. Wolverine responds, except I didn't. Believe me, if I wanted you dead, you would be. But I needed some way to slow you down so I could get a word in, edgewise. Spidey goes, you think I care about anything you have to say? You killed my parents. Wolverine says, maybe. It's like I told you. I don't remember much from that time in my life. But I said there were things I did back then that were unforgivable. Spidey says, then why shouldn't I kill you right now? Wolverine says, apart from the fact that you're in no shape to even try, you mean? For all I know, for all you know, I was on that plane to protect your parents. Spidey says, with a dagger in your hand? And he responds, I didn't know about my claws back then. If I thought there was someone else on that plane, it's something I probably would have brought. Spidey says, are you even listening to yourself? Do you have any idea how crazy you sound? Wolverine says, here's the thing, Pete. What I do remember from that time is your parents were my friends. I'm not saying I never killed any friends back in those days. I'm just saying I have no way of knowing for sure. And neither do you. Now, Peter's like, look, I'll never be able to trust you or forgive you for this situation. And Wolverine's like, look, I'm not asking you to. I guess what I'm asking is that you hold an open possibility that I didn't kill your folks. Just a possibility. And if he could do that, then we move forward as best as we can under the circumstances. If you're not gonna kill me, we gotta find some way to work together, or we're both gonna die here. They brought us here for a reason. They fixed you up, re-outfitted both of us for a reason. And Peter says, what reason? In which he responds, I don't know. We'll find out together. And just then, a bunch of arrows come in. Wolverine's like, think we just found out the reason we're here, to be hunted. We gotta move. And just as they take off, somebody's hiding and takes a shot at Logan. Just in the nick of time, Spidey grabs him and moves him out the way. Logan says, we gotta get someplace with a tactical advantage so we can put up a proper fight. Spidey says, I know a place, if we can get to it. Now keep in mind while they're running, Spidey's still hurt. But now he's like, question is, how do we get from the helicarrier in Brooklyn to here? And Wolverine explains, Kravinoff and Omega Red showed back up right after I stabbed you, and they both took me out. I woke up here, new costume and all, and Kraven tried tagging me again. This time though, I gave him a face full of claw. And just then, this huge jacked up dude with metal arms and a samurai sword comes out saying, I am Dread Shadow. Now look, we get a couple of cool scenes with this guy, but nothing too, exquisite. And it takes both of our heroes to fight him. And Spidey's like, don't think about how much this hurts. Damn, I'm thinking about it. And all of a sudden, he's like, Logan, get clear. And all of a sudden, a tree falls. Now, they take out one person, and right after that, Wolverine's like, I'm getting a new scent here. It's Kraven off. Seems like now to be a good time for that place you mentioned. Spidey says, if I can get there without spilling my guts. Literally. Wolverine says, then get moving. I'll buy some time. And while these two fight it out, Wolverine's like, you've got something I need. And he pulls the pin out of 2 grenades. But as Spider-Man reaches that destination, so does Kraven and his team. And it so happens that Spider-Man passes out. One of Kraven's team members says, it seems the spider succumbed to his injuries. And Spider-Man hops up and says, oh, I don't really succumb. Thanks for falling for the oldest trick in the book though. Logan? And Logan says, they brought friends? So did I. And he brought a bunch of dinosaurs. So while Kraven's team, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and all these raptors are fighting it out, I just wanted to point something out to you guys in case you haven't noticed it. But Wolverine and Spider-Man have had these bands on their wrists this whole time of being in the Savage Land. And just then, Kraven clicks a device, and both Spidey and Wolverine notice and said, uh-oh. And just then, they're teleported. And we see Doc Ock, who says, the spider, the Wolverine, welcome to China. And Wolverine says, we've got a new problem. So look, I have mixed reactions with this. But I gotta know, let me get this straight. Spider-Man and Wolverine nearly kill each other, get hunted in the Savage Land, and now they're in China with a Doc Ock pulling strings? Like, yo, what is the mission anymore? The Janus Directory got them chasing Ghost. Spidey still thinks Logan murdered his parents, and now someone else is moving the pieces. And it ain't good. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Did Logan really do it? Or is someone setting them both up for the ultimate fall? And hey, if you're feeling the breakdowns, like the video and subscribe. If you're new, hit the bell so you don't miss what happens next. Want to support the channel? Our link tree's got everything. Merch, Discord, bonus content, and the shirts right now are crazy. Galactus was here, so was Earth. Raised by Kents, powered by Hope. Inspired by the new Fantastic Four and Superman films. It's the best way to back the channel and rep your fandom. And as always, thanks for kicking it with Keeping It Comic. I'll catch y'all on the next one.